can't do the time, don't tell me how you're off and down. When you're smiling in my face, but you play me like a clown and you fool, bitch. So just step back, I'm a mad dad when I come down straight. I thought you were my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. I'm back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, but you know it's mine. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll.
Jim, how we doing?
What's happening, Jim? What's up, Bucket Man?
Muted. You got a big bag of weed.
He's playing with a big bag of weed. Look at Jim.
I'm sorry, was that on? Oh.
Jim, did you hear the news?
Have I heard the word?
The bird, the other than the bird, Marc Fogel was released from Russian prison.
Oh, really? Good.
He got busted with some weed, right? Wasn't it weed?
Cannabis edibles, which, yeah, we were discussing before we went live. I don't justify it. I don't justify it in the captivity in any way, but at the same time, you know, I think we all know better about Russia now. If you travel to Russia, don't try to sneak anything like that. That's my advisement.
Learn by other people's experience when you can.
The rat hole.
You know?
Lefty, I've got to scream. You got to stop with the devil. No.
Rat hole it.
No. You know what? Don't. Public advisory to everyone. I hate having to do these. Do not use any orifice of your body or any part of you to store cannabis when entering Russia. There. Shouldn't have to say these things.
Yeah, you know.
Not a good idea.
Or here's one. Don't go.
Yeah, why
That's
would you
another one too? Don't go to Russia. That's my better advice.
Well, I mean, you know, it's like make it an either or, mutually exclusive things to do. Which would you rather do? And if you want to go so bad, you're willing to stop for how long? Well, good, you should.
Like,
but if you can't,
I don't think I'm ever going to be willing to had to be like when I travel abroad. Like I want to not be like that tense in another foreign country. Like I want to be able to absorb them, the culture, the people, and everything like that. I don't want to always be subconsciously thinking, does my luggage have something that could get me thrown in jail? And when it's in the hotel room and I'm at a museum or whatever.
That's what you know of. And, if you just brought a jacket you don't wear a lot, all of a sudden you're sitting there at the airport and go, what the hell is this in my pocket?
Yeah.
It's too stale to smoke, but holy crap. I mean, look what happened to Montel. Changed his life. He became an advocate because he had a freaking pipe with him in a Detroit airport. He didn't say boo about it before that. He didn't decide, I have MS and this works good for me, but I'm not going to tell anybody about it, And much like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar used it, well, I got glaucoma, but other than that, and even since then, didn't, at least Montel jumped into action. I'm just saying,
right?
It's I don't know. I'm very comfortable. I'm lucky. I have no real desire. I mean, this is Bermuda because it was a cruise, but other than that, like part of me would like to go to England because I guess that's where my roots are, but so many things can go wrong.
Yes.
So what I do is I get real high and I go on YouTube and I find some like documentary or something that looks pretty cool and I watch that.
So, Mark,
I think it's reasonable that within the rest of your lifetime, there's going to be a good enough version of VR. We'll get Jim on VR. We'll be like, all right, let's send him to England, and you can go walk around in VR England.
So Marc Fogel spent 3 years in a Russian prison.
3 years.
Yeah. And he was in bad health too.
And just saying in a Russian prison, I imagine from the top to the bottom of the where you don't want to be list, there's probably a wide difference. I mean, there's no good prisons to be in here. I mean, normally it's like, well, it must be worse in Russia.
He was arrested.
How bad would that be? Holy crap!
He was arrested in August 2021 at a Moscow airport carrying cannabis, 17 grams for his severe spinal pain.
He arrived there and they found it or was he wouldn't have been leaving. Usually if you get caught, it's going out. Well, I guess, they could be checking. And
Lefty, who was the Marine who got released recently? What was his name?
Can't tell you.
Right before Trump got in office. I'm blanking on his name. I'm going to look it up in a minute. But to your point, Jim, is the fact that I remember he was talking on the news and about his time in Russian prison. They would wake him up like every 3-4 hours during the night to take a picture to verify that he was there. Like that's one aspect of it. It's a lot of especially when you're a pawn like he was, they're gonna fuck with you a lot.
Look, I saw Midnight Express, a movie about a guy taking some hash out of maybe a Turkish, and he was in a Turkish prison. Same sort of treatment, horrendous. The American, and after watching that show made me really cautious. Look it up. It was actually a really good. And they did it so well, starting in the beginning where he had it all like taped to him, and I guess his girlfriend didn't know,
Right.
And then that whole thing, the boom, 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 the heartbeat and he gets through.
Yep.
Now he's on the plane. Oh, awesome! All of a sudden, hold on. There's like a bunch of and coming on the plane looking and. Something's up. Oh my God, there's army coming out. So he bent down. They show him trying to get this shit off his body and couldn't. And then when they found out, they were looking for bombs, they weren't looking for drugs. So like when they found out what it was, they thought it was funny, the officers. Yeah, right. But his life was not too funny. So, I feel for anybody in that situation. Has he been talking about it much? I mean,
the Mark, he's literally like in the air. He literally was released they were leaving Russian airspace a couple hours ago. So I mean, from the picture they put out, he looks like alive. He looks in good health. Like as far as like visually, there's nothing like he's not missing any limbs from what I saw.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up, Lefty. I wanted to ask you something because we were talking about disabilities, this and that the other week. But I wanted to ask you. Okay, so we got this plan now to take some of our worst prisoners and send them to our Guantanamo Bay. Now, for the justified reasons of why they're arrested, fine. You and I know what long-term prison sentences does to a person's health. They decline. A lot of people, these guys are disabled for one reason or another.
It was timely though. Real quick before I forget, the little scroll back down there about El Salvador. I thought that was worse. Yeah, they are the worst, but they're not really prisons. They're like they just decided to go after this incredible gang warfare stuff, and it's sort of like a really big net.
It's huge.
And they are, but they also recently, I think maybe in response to, said, hey, we'll take people.
Yeah, they did say that too. I forgot.
They made an offer to house those people that we can't find a place for. And it's like, holy crap. Yeah, look up that El Salvador. That is a horror show. And it's just the idea, all dressed, and they come up and
hands bound behind their back most of the time.
No, they got to sit down right behind somebody, leaning their head on that guy's shoulders, and behind you, long lines, huge, 1,000 people in one room, all like marched in like that. Oh man, that's horrible. But crime's down,
and it's those, but it's. When you take that extreme of measure, sometimes innocent people get caught up. But
all the times.
Yeah. But Lefty, we were talking about certain places not having wheelchair ramps. Dollars to Donuts, they're not taking their health considerations into any form if they're sending some of these people to Guantanamo Bay. I'm talking about like at very least Americans.
Well. Nothing I can do about it. I've absorbed all that.
I just wanted to bring that up because we were talking about that the other week, and I thought that was an interesting point. That if we're gonna take American prisoners, regardless of what they've done, at the end of the day, they're still under our Constitution, our laws. So, it's just something to point out. That's all.
Well, constitutional laws it stands right now.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
that's a long.
We're waiting basically for the shoe to drop where a judge feels like or is at the point where they would usually bring in the U.S. Marshal because that's.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do at that point.
Well, I know one. I'll turn and do something else. I mean, when I get put in a position I can't do anything, I don't do anything.
I'd like to read a letter.
Yes.
Okay. This is to Attorney General Matt Platkin. The Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey was instrumental in getting the Compassionate Use Marijuana Act passed in 2010. The original CUMA allowed patients to grow cannabis plants, but this was removed from the bill just before it signed into law. Many New Jersey medical cannabis patients either cannot afford the cannabis in the state's alternative treatment centers or need strains that are not available there. There are currently bills in the legislature that would allow home cultivation of cannabis plants for medical patients, S1393 and S1985. However, these bills have not even had informational hearings. Over 3 years ago, Senate President Nicholas Scutari said, "I do not see that home grow will happen. I'm not against marijuana being grown at home, but we have got to let the industry get off the ground." In 2024, the legal cannabis industry in New Jersey sold over $1 billion in product. Earlier this month, Senator Scutari said, "I don't think anybody's been arrested for growing plants at home right now, but it's still a felony offense to do so without a license. Please recognize that for some medical cannabis patients, home grow is a necessity. It is a matter of survival for them, and it serves no public policy to prosecute such patients. New Jersey law enforcement officers should be advised not to arrest patients who have modest home grow. For example, in a plot that is less than or equal to 10 by 10 in area. It is essential to avoid burdening patients with a criminal record for an offense that will not exist in the foreseeable future. Thank you for your consideration, etc., etc., etc.
I
Ken
think
Wolf?
someone should take him up on that part he said there. I don't see anyone getting arrested. Okay, so it's one of those laws that's just there that's not being enforced. We'll just, you said we'll take your word for it, Like I don't well, what does that statement mean? Like, I don't see anyone getting arrested for driving tanks through New Jersey, so why are we complaining about this law?
Yeah, it's a deflection. It's not meant to do anything. That's only meant to deflect. And if you don't get a comeback on that, that's like him telling Lefty, yes, we've actually been talking about that lately. Didn't say who we is, and what was going, but how that was like what 2 years ago or something. He said that a long time ago. So it's just running out the clock again. It's that and nothing more. And but what bothers me is it doesn't bother anybody else. And when something bothers only me, or seemingly, when I say only, that's hyperbole. I'm sure it's a very small amount of people. Nick Scutari is not just keeping this from being heard. He's not saying why. 4 freaking years, and nobody's even tried to pin him down. Why? What are you saving people in New Jersey from? What's happening in other states that gives you cause to think you're doing some good? Why don't you validate the fact by showing what's going on in other states? Because no, Nick Scutari, you don't need to go to Colorado. You need to travel the country. He talks about, when I travel the country, people tell me. I'm like, I don't travel the country, and I hear the same shit. I hear it like this, a Zoom meeting there. I'm in Colorado as good as being there. You just can't smell it. My point is nobody seems to ask him to do that. I mean, right now, I think that's Jennifer, the person I had, I had people writing letters in out of the 9 or 10 that trusted me enough to do that. And one would be like, Jeff King is Vin Gopal's constituent, and Seth Na is O'Scanlan's constituent. A guy named Neil Schenck is Senator Singer, who's the other Republican co-sponsor. So my point is, Jennifer Caden, Jen the Baker, she's in Florida now. She was Buco's. She's the one, I just looked at the emails we did 2.5 years ago, where she informed him about 1393. He got back to her that day, so I'm going to look at this, but you should know I fully support our medical marijuana program. Got back to her the next day, telling her what she already knew. Well, there are these other co-sponsors, and I've talked to them, and which is what she suggested. I'm so happy the letter she sent that I wrote, I was impressed with it. It was short. It started out, I don't want to meet with you or talk with anybody on your staff. I don't need any of your time. It starts out like that. So here's the deal. I don't have her, but I put a quote from what she said and the date, and then that he got back and said, I'll look at it. And then what he said there, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, I need to know somebody in Buco's district. It's what district? It's like Wayne Bruni is already lives there, but I'm not sure he's too keen on helping me or taking letters advice. But
let me ask you something.
Yes,
you've gone to a lot of events before, and I've heard them. But have you ever been to any of the underground cannabis events? And what I mean by that is I've been to a couple of events where the people who are still struggling to get their grower's license have gathered to distribute their product. Have you ever gone there before?
If that includes the hippie tribe, which is now defunct because, getting busted, closed down. but they only got closed down because they were getting complaints. They were letting them know about. Yeah, I was there. I was a regular.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely somewhere you should be. That's definitely a bigger area of focus. You should be talking to people. Is the people
you know, right there, they've out of the 74 signatures on my petition, 16 or so are from them. You know, because I put there's a Till We Reunite website, a private website, and yeah, I'm welcome there. You know.
There's an event I was telling Lefty about on the 28th in Atlantic City. That's a bunch of those.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I look at it. What am I going to get out of that? You know, I haven't really got a lot of help, except for the hippie tribe. For the more organized they are, the less help it seemed to be with some simple things. So. You know, and after parties and stuff, yeah, I love that. But I'm having a party right now, and I'm getting high with you guys right now. You know,
the thing I think is most effective for you, Jim, because you have like the not only like what to say, but you know the cause, the history with it and whatnot.
Oh, field vision's my strong suit.
Yeah. Permeation is definitely your best friend, and what I mean by that is
I don't know what that means.
In repetition, like I know, and I get the feeling of like not feeling like it's making an immediate impact, or like feeling like people don't care.
I know what I'm having an impact now. I could have an immediate impact. Let's say immediate soon, but it started 2 years ago when I would have thought I could have got into maybe 15, 16, 20 districts through constituents with a concerted effort. In other words, asking the same questions to the point that it was like 7 offices maybe. But it was, after that, it was the right ones. So I can make a play now with an email trail that they are clear can be produced anytime and put up on a website. As Vin Gopal knows, because Jeff King had to ignored emails of his looking for a meeting. And then when Vin Gopal on Facebook and a chat thing with Jeff was on said, why don't you stop trolling me here and hit me up legit? And he Facebook messaged him in front of all his Facebook friends. Yeah, Jim Miller said that you might say something like this. So 2-letter emails that were not answered or posted on letpatientsgrowNJ.com. And that was like the biggest. Anybody could have been set into that trap. You know, what they don't realize is, yes, they can't talk about anybody else's emails to me. They can't talk about anybody else's emails in particular to anybody. That's considered private information, your conversation with somebody like that. However, it's a one-way street because I've looked it up in New Jersey. I can take letters. I could make a billboard with everything that was on it. I could take a screenshot, make it, and it's legal. So what happens is that they get a little callous in blowing people off, and anybody that could read the email can see that. So the emails tell the story, the email trail. And then when they find out there is an email trail, they're less apt to ignore because it's up there as ignored. And it develops a history that you can't escape and you can't get rid of. Eventually, the media is going to find that interesting as a resource, would have, if this caught on 2 years ago, because there would be email trails for people they're about to talk to or want to interview, or, you know what I'm saying, they want to, and hi, I'm so-and-so from NJ.com. Yeah, I got a minute, you know. And they go like, yeah, you said in an email 3 years ago to a constituent, you know, it's like basis for really good questions in an interview when you have that background. And to me, it was like, it's real easy to get. And the fact that Jen, as you could see in the correspondence, it took 2 days. It took less than 2 days, and he became a co-sponsor because there were already 2 Republicans co-sponsoring. And all she asked was talk to one of the co-sponsors from your own side of the aisle and then tell me where you think they're wrong and where you think they're right if you're not going to co-sponsor. So yeah, he co-sponsored. The joke was on me though. That don't mean shit. Let's get more co-sponsors to be ignored. So anyway, to me, for me to have all 3 Republicans in my sights, if I find somebody in Bucco's district, and whoever that is can say, yes, I've come to understand that 3 years ago, and then that person can quote what Jen already quoted and what he already quoted. They can carry the ball for her, if you follow me. The trail got this far.
I'm going to be honest with you, Jim. I'm lost at how we got to this point right now.
Oh, we're talking how we got to this is we're talking about hunger or something I really like to talk about.
This is the point I came to with all
that.
Let me just say this, that I reiterate the fact that I get the lack of sometimes of motivation or feeling like people don't care, but I will say this: it's better for a flame to stay stagnant where it's burning rather than lose any support for its life. And you are a bigger piece than you give yourself credit for.
Well, here's what I need help on right now, though. I mean, the little things, because I'm not the one to get it. And Lefty just put up something after last week, and there's like 15 quick co-sponsors just like that. I mean, it's not like a game changer thing, but it's the right direction, and that's like one person putting up a thing. If there was any let's get this done, because it's only about getting the bill heard. See, that's about information being denied. The history is not out there otherwise, and everybody is still looking for co-sponsors, but it's Republicans who got to protect some stuff. The minority leader has been the longest co-sponsor of any the ones now. I thought, well, second longest one. And what it is the minority leader's job is to offer to be a check and a balance on the majority leader, the actual Senate president. So he's been a co-sponsor for 3.5 years. For 3.5 years, to my knowledge, he's never even asked Senator Scutari to post it for a hearing. Now, the next constituent letter he gets, that's the question. Have you ever asked? If so, what did he say? Blah, blah, blah. Right. I'm pretty sure it's going to be no. But wait, he's also been in the minority for the entire his career, because that's going on 24 years. So there's a lot of food for thought there. It's like, do you not know what you're supposed to do as a minority party member? You're supposed to talk with him. It'll appear like you're reaching across the aisle to do something for a stalled health care bill. How is that a bad thing? And if he won't do that, then there's a big piece of this puzzle we don't know, and they do. But this is what flushes everybody out, one way or the other. You got to pick a hole now.
I got it. I got an idea. Lefty, do you have Venmo?
Yeah, I don't use Venmo.
You have Cash App.
That's cheap wine, right?
They're part of PayPal, and PayPal stole $3,000 from our 501c3.
All right, I'm gonna put either mine or my Venmo or my Cash App up. I think we should start. If people want to donate, that's fine. But I think every now and then between us, we put together like $15 or $20, and we put together a small video for the petition and all of this. And every now and then, when we can generate like $30 together, we'll post a promotion on Instagram to get more eyes on this. I can speak to myself that promotions have been working very well for me. And you can target your audience very well. And I think we'd get a big hit if we just limited to New Jersey, which is really what would matter here.
Yeah, you can donate to SativaCross.org. Just go right to SativaCross.org.
Or that. Yeah, I didn't know that existed. Yeah.
Just a donate button and just hit it right there. It's tax deductible.
It's the coalition in the past had some success with taking targeted donations. In other words, when the person would make a donation, it would come with a note if this is to be used for, because I forget we were raising funds for then. But I've always said, for people who will simply give to an organization like SativaCross or a coalition because of what the good work they do, it's general. They don't know what it's being spent on. If they know what it's being spent on, that money goes directly to or whatever. That makes them a part of a specific endeavor. Their money goes right to it, and it's like giving a person a say in what it's used for, because they know we don't waste money.
What was it, Lefty? How is that set up on the website? Is it like certain, or can you enter like however much you want to give, or is it like certain amounts prefixed?
It's both. You can do a prefixed amount, or there's a custom amount. You can also. You have the choice.
Good.
I'm trying to find Chris Goldstein's email he sent me.
His email?
Yeah, it was really good. Did you receive it?
I don't think so.
Hold on. I'm going to try to find this. It's really good.
Maybe I'm not in the loop.
What did he say?
Come on, I'm on the edge of my seat.
I know. Where is this email?
What do you see? Old people, it takes that long to bring shit up. 2 thumbs are blazing, If you were like 25, you'd already have it, and it'd probably be up on the screen.
No. I've seen plenty of what was it? When I grew up in Red Bank, Fairhaven, Rumson area, I'd see plenty of moms in their 40s and 50s down there flying their thumbs around, getting faster than it's just how dedicated you are to your phone.
Yeah, you think that sometimes. I swear, I'll do this if I don't want to talk to somebody. It'll look like this. I'll be, and then I'll go two-handed for a second. Yeah, I'm just hoping I don't get a phone call while I'm doing it. Snagged. But really, I look like it. I'm just saying, you can't tell. Normally, I don't know. I hear it. I don't know why.
Okay, yeah, the governor's race.
Okay.
We talked about the candidates, and they spoke about cannabis policy.
Yeah.
On this one, there were 0 questions about cannabis policy. I think there was one he put out with questions about cannabis policy, right?
Yeah. What about Jelani? Did you put up something? I think you said something about Jelani getting a good question.
Yeah, I spoke to him earlier, and he was going to be doing something.
But did he got a reply from Governor Murphy? It said he's not for it or whatever.
Where was that? Let's see. Let's see if it's here.
See, the thing is, Governor Murphy said whatever he said about what he feels about home grow for patients. Okay. What he wasn't asked is, are you okay with the bill not being heard? That should be seriously. What if it wasn't? How do you feel about the result of this maybe happening, which has been stalled from being heard for 4 years? That's kind of, the real question, the killer question is, it's been stalled. Here's a quick summation of it. Verify it real easily and without explanation. So don't you think that the governor should have an explanation for why it's not being heard? And what are you basing your opinion on, Governor, if it hasn't been heard in committee yet? These are all, it's like T-ball.
So
Fuck.
Jim, I'm on your side here, and I'm not by any means taking advocacy to those not hearing the bill. I will say though, I don't think it's the governor's responsibility.
No, it's not. It's not his, but he needs to be dragged into it because we got to build the government
opinion. Yes.
Yeah. No. Also, it carries weight. If he actually thought this is a good idea, he needs to say something. That's how it works. So not saying anything kind of shows, maybe he could be talked into it. But right now, it should all be about having an informational hearing. All this is beyond what we haven't got done in 4 years. So let's respect the 4 years we haven't got it done, any advocates, and say, yes, how about we all get together, not because Jim suggested it, because we wouldn't want to follow his advice specifically, but realize all on your own, not you guys, present company accepted, that's the question. Because if somebody refuses to answer that question, we could sell red flags pretty easy then.
Yeah.
But what is somebody like the minority leader Bucco? What is he going to say when a constituent says, "I just want you to engage Senator Scutari"? It seems to be what you're supposed to do, as being a check, so this stuff doesn't happen on a healthcare issue that you've been a co-sponsor for 3.5 years, 3.5 years. You see how bad that would sound for him if he were being asked this question, like in public? He can short circuit that by doing what? By asking Senator Scutari, make it appear like he's reaching across the aisle, and then Senator Scutari, that's all he has to do. To
it's
not
one of those
do
things
it,
where they have to back them against the wall.
Okay, if he doesn't do that, that's called. Then there's going to be accusations the media will like is that Republican co-sponsors are trying to greenwash their marijuana image of being against all things medical and recreational marijuana in New Jersey. It's the Republican Party. Look at the votes. There's 2 people running for the nomination to be the Republican candidate that voted against veterans with PTSD being in the program, and everybody. They did that, thought, well, I'll outrun this asinine statement vote. They wasted that on a bill that was going to pass, and they knew it. So now they're running for governor. Now, how is this not going to bite them in the ass? If they're being asked about cannabis, they're praying the question doesn't come out. Why did you vote against 864 in 2016 as assembly bill? 13 people voted against it. 56 voted for it. All 13 against it were Republican assembly representatives. It was a statement vote. What was the statement you were trying to make then? And do you agree with that now? What a question for a candidate. 2 of them, Cicciarelli and starts with a B. Bramnick. No, Bramnick? No.
I'd also like to know if what that statement is. I mean, obviously, we can.
No, well, it's a statement vote. Maybe they thought no, it doesn't. They need to explain that. They didn't need to explain when they're there, but now they're running for office. This is what an opportunity. Now, if I had an in with any news organizations like I used to, I would have, I could feed it to Sue Livio and maybe she'll assign it to somebody. But it's a question that needs to be asked. My God, they voted against it. And which means not just veterans. Veterans testified, rape victims, people who just, victims of extreme domestic violence. All these things can be post-traumatic stress involved. And it's, they voted against it, including the veterans that testified about 22 a day dying,
There's multiple qualifications.
Oh, another question. We can't find out the mortality rate of patients, the card-holding patients. They had to report it, and they did through 2018. And after that, haven't. Now, never mind why should patients or me try to find out. Why can't a senator or an assembly person find that out? Because I'm saying that in the 3 years that Senator Scutari has been president, the best estimate right now is minimum 6,000 people died over that 3-year period. I think it's much more. But the best estimate right now is that. And if you want to know where the estimate comes from, that's my estimate too. But I estimate low. I think it's higher. Because that would be if 1.5% of patients who are registered died each year. 1.5%. Right, Lefty? It was 10% when it was the sickest in the beginning, and it might have come down to, but it could be 5%. I don't know because they don't have to say right now. But if a legislator asked CRC, I want these statistics. How can you not want that statistics when it comes to home GER? Because a lot of people that can't afford it, they're not getting it. And no, people, if the attorney general says that he'll go, no, they're not going to break the law, take a chance on that. What happens? They get arrested. He declines prosecution. They already lost their job. Who knows?
Hey, Chris.
What a world.
Yeah.
There's a lot, like I was saying, there's a lot.
We could be doing better. I mean, we could be doing better. We could. Lefty probably couldn't be doing any better. Couldn't be doing any more for sure. But also, I'm just doing so much trying to put pieces together. I'm not getting some things done that, the patient testimonials are also kind of there, but I'm just saying that Lefty could have, in effect, slowly have people on a show or whatever, or just a whole thing with some patients and talk, and then I or somebody go through it and storyboard it, and then so anybody could cut it up, and then those people could do it like right now at their own homes, and then they could do this where Lefty doesn't have to do any of it, just receive what somebody else did with what he made available.
Well, I discussed with Lefty, and I'm hoping to get them on Thursday. But my friend Bill, Navy veteran, and someone who's dealing with the current environment within the LGBTQ community, is going to come on, and he's a cannabis user as well. Out of circumstances, they haven't been able to get their medical card, but they are definitely a user of cannabis and an advocate and a veteran that would definitely has a story to tell. So talk about getting people on. We'll have someone on soon, hopefully.
I still got to go back and watch the Thursday one where Steve Way was on. I haven't reviewed yet. I've been looking into him and Rami. I didn't know how deep this ran. It's
yeah.
It's like I think Steve's the kind of guy that, if he was on every 4 to 6 weeks on a Thursday, he's going to be one of the best we can get at any different kind. And I just love the way he said, I'll do it tomorrow, without hesitation. And the thing is, he meant it. He doesn't have the filter. It just spit it out, and he meant it. So
that means,
we need to have him on again. Not right away. He was just on, but I want to be in closer contact with him in between, and I could say it here. I guess the more I'm looking into it, I was all the time with Cheryl. We'd be eating out. I'd cut up her food, and I'd feed it to her. And she's great with that. And then I'm looking at Steve, and he's out somewhere, and there's somebody sitting there at a table outside thing. He holds up a French fry, and Steve has a fry. And then a little while later, it's like, another, like hit me again or whatever. And then a sip of a soda, the simple thing. And like he said, he gets it because he lives it, and he's lived it virtually forever. But Cheryl didn't live it forever, and she was well at ease with it too. And it's sort of like they have such a connection he wouldn't know about. I mean, in other words, because she's not with us. But my God, it's like I'm there again, And man, that man is nothing but to be admired,
Amen. Yeah. Absolutely. He's truly a marvel.
Yeah. And it's like, it's pretty awesome in the show too.
Having him, it's awesome talking to him. I love shooting them, just hitting about what's going on in the current administration with weed, and just picking his brain with simple questions. It definitely was cool, just being able to pick at the brain of someone with that kind of a somewhat high profile. So I thought that was just pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started off with politics too. I loved it. We're just like, all right, let's run this podcast right into the ground from the start.
Yeah,
and it was actually pretty good. It was actually a good discussion about Trump and Harris.
Well, first of all, he's one of the few people that you're getting not just an unvarnished opinion. his opinion, I would think, counts for something, because I think he's a lot smarter than a lot of other people when it comes to pragmatic thought. So when he says something that goes against your home team, people should listen to it, because, you can have differences, but it's that overlap is where progress can be made. And that's all it takes to push it the right way.
Little bit,
but we don't know. Okay, if somebody is say a Democrat, or what is it called, a lunatic lefty or whatever,
Right.
It's sort of like all Democrats aren't, and all Republicans aren't whatever you don't like about Republicans. It's that. What's the best thing you can say about Trump? Give me something. A stop clock is right.
No,
twice a day. Twice a day.
He's a tough guy.
First of all, you got to be able to spit something right out.
I got a good one. You want me to just articulate it properly?
No, but we should all have a couple. The stop clock moments.
I think the attribute I like about him, I admire about him the most, if any, is the one that's tattooed on my arm in a different, complete made-up language. Essentially saying, you make your detriments your strengths. And what he does is take his
he's got someone to choose
disregard for norms
and
use it to his advantage, which
but what policy, what idea, what he's done, what he's signed into law, what has he done right? What is he talking about that sounds right? See, this is what you got to be able to do. Now, let me give you
a transgender athlete thing. Fine. I don't think there's that. I think that's fine. I think
that's a good one. But to have it all ready to go to where, and the example for me is like Dave Chappelle put it best: if LeBron became a woman, could he play in women's basketball? Because he'd score 840 points a game. He make it in a comical sense, but I see kind of it's an issue, to say the least. However, that doesn't affect the amount of people that's saying, I'm going to get rid of the Department of Education effects. Now, I haven't looked into it. Yeah, but the thing is, but listen to me. All states have their own way of doing things. Florida does it way different than New Jersey. Whoa, it sounds like states have a say in the way they educate their children. I can't say right off, no, the federal government should control states how they do that. It seems to me there should be people in those states where that's what they're dealing with. So I'm saying I need to know more about how that would work out, what it would entail. And I'm willing to say I think that might actually work. I tried it out on a former school teacher, and it got I don't know. I mean, there is something to be said. But right now, we have a Department of Education, and we have Florida and New Jersey. Let's look at how we teach things. First of all, what books are banned in New Jersey? You get to do that. So,
but there's a way to do that. There's a way to do that.
Well, there is. But my point is you got to be able to say something that you think Trump got right. I know it makes you go,
but this isn't him getting it right, though.
Yeah, but no, you want something to say he got right. It doesn't matter if you think he is. It means you could make the argument, and a Republican would believe it, and then you say, "So, what do you think Biden got right?"
So, I think we can both agree, though, that given the general populace of Republicans nowadays, what you'd say to them that they'd agree was right is not based in normal reality.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, I get it. You're not going to win an argument. You're not going to change any mind. But you get left there going like this when they go, it's like when you can do something like, I say, I thought we were going to have a discussion here. Obviously not, because I can tell you there's some things about Donald Trump I do believe he got right, and could have been done before, for real. But if you can't say that, you're never going to have a conversation with somebody and get anywhere, because that's what's missing. The overlap is being ignored.
if we're talking about the general Republican Party, I can easily, if that were your question, I could easily jump to Tim Burchett and his wanting to shed light on UFOs.
No. It has to be
absolutely fine with that.
You know,
in 2024, the budget was $238 billion. In 2023, the budget was $274 billion, but that included funding for children with disabilities.
I'm not saying there's no waste anywhere.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Well, there is going to, and you know what? The smartest thing ever did is although don't argue how misguided it is and how bad it's going to be, it's looking for where the waste is. It's kind of the first time anybody's said, let's start looking at everywhere for real. Now, it's not for the right reasons, but it's hard. People can't argue against looking for it, which is, then once you're out that door, see, that's like they got past the starting gate on that. And again, at this point, I can't do much about it. It came up and I thought, okay, I don't mind talking about it for a second, but it's like wasted conversation here too. I mean, for all the things we could be talking about that are going on, like whatever Lefty's involved in, he's always in the middle of.
And you know what, Jim, to that, I absolutely get that mindset of yours, but to that, I'd say, think about how much the things that you really
that's against my mindset right there. It's saying I'm not going to think about it. You say, well, I'd say to you, think about. I'm having a fun time with you. I'm not.
Okay.
No, it's
so
just
my point
is
that think how much these things that you really care about and advocate for will be affected if you don't speak up about these other things. If you don't focus on talking about these other things.
No, if I take time focusing on that, it's time I didn't focus on what if it doesn't work for me. I'll wonder. Was it missing just that little bit, like the blue stuff in Breaking Bad, that last 2%? That's the 2% that might have been the straw I could have broke his back with. And everybody needs that's all he's about, dude. Call him. I need to be that guy.
I think that
I was drafted.
I think that in relation to cannabis and home grow, that speaking up against government overreach is the firm stance we take against people coming in and saying that lettuce is against God and you need to stop smoking it.
Yeah, I'm not even focused on that if it doesn't.
Why? That's a relevant thing right now to worry about. Like
you say why?
Through with this.
You can't say why and not give me a chance to say why.
That was all one explanation. Go ahead, respond.
Okay, it's like the arguments for adult home grow are being made everywhere. The arguments for having this bill posted for a hearing are not being made everywhere. I'm not going to be able to help do one when I have a problem of not getting a help with something that can be done. Adults aren't going to get an okay till patients do. That's why patients don't have it. Scutari doesn't have to talk to adults if he's dodging patients. Adults are like, well, fuck, I'm not getting in front of that line. Let's see how it works out. That's the mistake. They shouldn't be seeing how it works out. We should have a crush of adults who want it to go, oh, so dude, if we get it done, help you get, then we'll help you because we'll say, see, it's working out. They have ammunition once patients have a working home grow program, then adults have all the ammunition they need for not doing what they can't get done now. That's my field vision nobody trusts. But the thing is, a lot of this will play out. I just want to live long enough to be able to go, yeah, I fucking told you so. Yeah. So anyway, and that's good. I should keep that edge because that's what'll help. But I can't tell you, it was really funny to see what that Lefty just put up something, and although Lefty, you refer to me as having 40 years doing this. It's 34 and a half.
Oh,
well, it's off by a year or two. Okay.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying I appreciate it.
I thought it was 40 because it seemed like it was.
It seems longer.
It seems like.
It
Holy,
feels like a 40.
so, yeah, sometimes when I think about stuff like, well, in 1991 when I got up my first letter from Congressman Pallone, even that sounds like a long time ago to me. But that's the date of my successful advocacy, at least engaging a congressman to, talk about medical use aspect as from Cheryl's point of view. So yeah, it's been a long time. However, the idea of somebody's getting a letter. I forget. I'm writing for 3 people now, but getting a letter. I don't know. I can't remember. It's not that I'm lost in thought. It's kind of intricate. It's fun. I have pieces to play without anybody else being involved while it's going on now. In other words, this is taking time away from me writing a letter that will go to Senator Singer. That has to go first. And then Gopal already got his. Jeff King sent out a very interesting letter to him, but it referred to the 3 Republican co-sponsors who are also getting letters from their constituents about this, which indicates to Gopal that there's some sort of organization going on. And that's exactly what they need to happen to have constituents of the Republican co-sponsorship nudge Scutari because Democrats can't. It jeopardizes deals. It's whack-a-mole back there behind the scenes. We don't know. We found out that the reason that it had to get voted on by the ballot box is because Fuqua Muzan, the guy that was trying to get the Senate votes, couldn't get 21. He got as close as 19. He needed 21. And then in going for 21, he got all the way back to 18. It's sort of like there's favors. Oh, wait, I need this, that. Well, then I can't do that. Well, if you do that, then I can't do that. And that shit's swirling for people who want to get things done, who have the power. So we got to keep it to the lowest common denominator. Yes, I would like, what's the program going to look like? Who gives a shit if we can't get a hearing? I wouldn't talk about that with anybody either. Well, how many plans? No, I don't care about the plan. But the pieces are there to play. This is that ducks in a row thing. There's a couple missing. They don't all have to be in a row. And I don't like that because that's insinuating killing a whole lot of ducks. And not that I like that. A lot of people, it's a great sport and they eat what they kill. So, So I'm not saying like a bad thing like that. Oh, Lefty, you look busy, man. You look like you're about to hit the road for a second.
I'm rolling up a fat one.
We know we're gonna lose you. It's like
Bear's here. Say hi, Bear. No, you got.
Hey, it's up, Bear.
Bear hand.
Yeah,
Bear hand.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, man.
Bear hand.
I'm back.
I don't know. You better watch it because you have bear arms. And other people think they have the right to bear arms. They might want yours.
Bear arms. Get it?
I have the right to bear arms.
So funny.
As I made a muscle.
Man, I took his arm. I got a right.
I got it right.
I got a constitutional right.
Person.
Well, I made that not that joke, but if you started seeing bears missing an arm or something like that, it might be because somebody thought they had the right to bear arms.
Jim, are you telling me right now you're not the person who invented that joke? I am shocked. I am appalled. You led me on a string of lies, thinking you lived long enough to have created this joke. It's absurd.
Led astray.
No. No, basically, I can blame shit on getting old, and I forget right now. I mean, Ronald Reagan, it worked. I loved when he'd go like, I don't recall.
Oh yeah, it got him out of the Iran Contra.
I don't recall.
He did have dementia though.
That's why he didn't recall. Perhaps he didn't.
He might have been just saying the truth.
That makes sense.
He really might have been telling the truth.
Yeah, he did. It wasn't a good, No.
Never is.
He's looking pretty good right now. Listen, that's 3 layers deep right there. That was one of my most fun comments. Well, I'm not for nothing, but that was I forget who. Well, I think it was Doug Stanhope. He's about it's back in 20 years ago. It's like, holy crap, terrorists, and he's going, man, we have to psych them out. We got to out crazy them, So basically, what we got to do, and it's sort of talk about like we got to dig up Ronald Reagan and make him president again, because he's been dead for a while. Dig up Judge Rehnquist to swear him in, and
Wow.
it actually makes sense. They'd be over there going, "Oh my God, they're so crazy!" Like the same way we are. It's like, look, we didn't even think about people that would not need an escape plan to do horrible shit.
Ronald Reagan reanimated and then instantly gets an
what
the hell has happened to my country?
No, but then he could say like, "No, I've seen your virgins and they're ugly." Get it? Yeah, they get.
Oh no!
19, Let me tell you something, America.
Yeah, so he
you don't want to go now.
No.
Yeah.
You said no.
Let me tell you something, America. I was dressing like a woman before it was cool.
It was a dark joke, but
Wow.
it was.
Nancy, is it normal for a young girl to feel this strange?
Hey, Bucket Man. Side note. Quick question. You a Funko Pop fan? I see him in the background.
No, I hate them. They're stupid.
Me too.
Yes, I love them.
Me too. I hate them. That's why I got like 600 of them.
What kind do you collect?
Actually, I collect all genres. So I got Disney. I got anime. I got movie genres. I got some of everything.
I got my anime ones. I got my music artist one. I got my Biggie, my Tupac. Danny Trejo. If you see him, he's right.
Okay, yeah, I see him right there.
Right there next to Tupac.
That's great.
Yeah,
I have
Danny
Tupac. I see that. I see the My Hero Academia, if I'm not mistaken.
The Jujutsu Kaisen, the Hunter x Hunter. I have like 4 Eren Yeager pops of different variations.
Yeah, I don't have any Attack on Titans yet.
It's the greatest anime of all time, in my opinion.
I'm sorry, I just lied to you. I only have one, and that's the Titan holding the hammer that goes in the dark.
The Warhammer, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, the 6-inch one. I have that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you got Weatherman moves, by the way. When you were showing your picture, you know how they point. They got they got a green screen. They don't see none of that stuff, but they're so good at You're like, okay, you see right here. Now, if you had,
they have a screen in front of them too, Jim. That's
showing
them.
Well, that's what they're doing. And so I realized that. I was like, good job.
Thank you.
there she is.
So. Anyway, back to talking like Ronald Reagan.
Well, I don't remember.
Oh no.
So, well, here you go. There you go again. He's famous for there you go again. That was a great. He got away with that. He killed it. It was like a go-to line. He used it well.
There you go again.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, you got a good mic though. Yeah, I got this.
I'm looking again at XLR soon.
Oh yes, Mad Hatter on the 22nd. Grand opening on the 22nd. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on the 22nd. There's going to be a tent set up with heaters inside, vendors, and Husky House is going to be there, which is cool.
There going to be a Husky? If there's a Husky there, then that
Husky House.
Husky House.
Is that?
Will there literally be a dog there?
Fat women go?
No, it's not a house for fat women.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. That reminds me. I was sitting in I was cooking the other day in the kitchen. I was listening to the news, and all of a sudden, what's been making me laugh lately? The term "husky musky" from Elon Musk. I don't know why, but just like picturing just like a slightly heavy Elon Musk is very funny to me.
I can't take it. He already slightly heavy. What do you mean? You mean slightly heavier?
I'll tell you what. He looks. I would believe. I don't think he's of human origin.
I don't think he's ever picked up a weight in his life.
No.
Nothing of the sort.
No.
He's about as white as a white man can get.
I think there's like
I mean, he's just like.
I'll agree with that.
He's like borderline albino.
Yeah, it's something weird about his face.
It's weird, like the pigmentation.
Yeah, he does have a weird color. I never
22nd is a grand opening, though, right?
And he has your social security number now. And your
yeah. Oh, did you know we could all they were talking about that on the news the other day. We could all technically sue them for data breach.
Yes, absolutely. Because they're not supposed to have it.
Yeah. You don't care. He's got billions. You don't care.
Oh, don't worry. I want some of it.
Yeah, and watch that.
It's okay.
Don't worry. I have no consideration for him saving cash. I want some of that money. Don't you worry about that. I like money.
He's a billionaire. Great. He won't miss it. Let me get it.
I love that. Don't worry. The obvious.
Like, yeah, don't worry. He won't miss it.
Great.
He spend it on some of the dumbest stuff in the world.
Oh, I would. If I always said that if I had millions, I'd live like Danny DeVito and Charlie Day and It's Always Sunny. I'd just live in squalor and just get up to shenanigans.
It sounds quite fun.
I just show up one day in like a nice ass sports car, and I'd have like a bucket of like peanuts hanging from like the top of the sports car, and I'd just be like, yeah.
I swear.
What's up? How we doing?
Amazingly.
This is my Camaro.
It sounds amazingly distressing.
So, what would people do if you had that? I mean, if you would have,
he'd just be hanging from a hook.
But do you really know what you would do if you suppose you just had? Say,
that's what I would do. Yeah,
several. Yeah.
That's what I would do because
gotta think about it.
I've thought about it plenty of times.
Scenario where I drive past and see these big mansions, big houses, stuff like that. I would get anxiety owning a house like that. That's too much property. And then you're paying people.
It looks pretty.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks pretty. It looks like there's a scam going on because I'd go around and I'd be like, I'd see this giant house with like 3 sports cars in the driveway. I'd be like, so I know that you're a dentist and your wife does nothing. So that doesn't add up at all.
I mean, it could if he's a dentist to the celebrities.
No.
You know how much celebrity? Wait. No. Good question. Do you know how much celebrity barbers make? Like they make like $1,000 a haircut.
No, I honestly don't.
Like it's like $1,000 a haircut. Like they get paid like $1,000 a haircut. And more than that, $2,500.
I believe that. If that's true, I would believe that dentists would be paid less because it's something that's less visually seen as much as the hair.
Well, no, not so much because every time you smile, and that's what they be looking for in their business, so they would pay a grip if you can get them to smile right. Let's be real about that.
But even just about the hair thing, I don't know if you remember a guy named John Edwards running for president.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. He was like really. All of a sudden, somebody found out that he paid $400 for a haircut. That was the price, $400. But adjust that for inflation. And we're getting close to that $1,000 haircut there, you know. Yeah. And he got caught, and it added up a couple of other things. But you know that was just hard for people to overcome because he was trying to look the opposite, like he cared about us.
I think the thing that drives me to that answer, Jim, more than just the idea, is the fact that like. I'd love to be at that point in my life where, like, I'm like I said, living in squalor, making a bunch of money, and like people who don't know me see me, hear me, like, oh, that's his background. Then I just blow them. I want to be able to blow you away with my work and not have any other aspect of my life be relevant.
It's wonderful. You know what I would want to do? I would literally buy an old warehouse that just looks like crap, and then redo the whole inside to whatever I want.
I love that.
It would be
living in a warehouse.
It would be amazing.
Well, I'm on my one-track mind thing. It's kind of like what I did when I ran for Senate. I could always bring a conversation back, and I'm not doing it for that purpose.
Please run for Senate.
What I would do though would be to buy enough quality cannabis to be able to buy advocates. And say, if I need to find somebody in this district, like I need to find in Buco's district, I'm allowed in New Jersey to give up 1 ounce to an adult in New Jersey. Now, that's what it says in the law. It's not a rumor. It's codified.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like that, if I could do that, and I said, I need to have 5 people in each district writing letters, and I'll help you write them, and it's worth 1 ounce. Whoa, per email. as long as it's on a different day. But it wouldn't, see, to me, if it wasn't money, not only am I allowed to do it, but the whole irony of the issue and to present that they would be happy and do something for you is sort of like it would work. Now on a lower scale, we had a pretty good thing at the State House one time when it found out hippie tribe was showing up because, you know, they help you out maybe, you know, because they're allowed. Less than that, it's all legal now. And what did we find out there at that one? I, of course, I said, yeah, help you out, but you got to hold these signs up for 15 minutes because we were about homegrown. And they were the most enthusiastic supporters from Trenton just walking up the street. Did I hear right? You know? And all of a sudden there's 5 of them and they were like, honk, honk, you know, and they were involved.
If you do that, Jim, and you give away ounces, unfortunately, we have to apply the dealer logic where if they don't sign, then we have to break their legs.
No, I would have the money. Wouldn't matter. I'd figure it's like
no, we have to. It's about showing face. That's like dealer aspect. Like that was one thing I loved about training when I first started at Air, and I was going through orientation. They were talking about like if an invader would come in, and I realized again another dealer aspect that was represented in the legal cannabis market, where it was like, okay, you hide and you run, and if those options are out, you fight. Meaning, if someone's coming for cannabis and trying to steal our cannabis, and it comes down to it, you may have to kill a guy.
That's a stretch, but okay.
Wow.
Some habits just die. They just, it's just funny how that permeated.
It's funny that the police have to protect my cannabis now. Like if I'm smoking cannabis on the street and someone tries to steal it from me, the police have to actually beat that guy up for me. That's their job now.
Not if they're in there. Well, if they break into your home, you have to go outside and call them first, and then let them go into you have to run out of your home. That's still the bad part for me.
I did like asking for a police escort to use my medicine at Burke Township Municipal Meeting, where the police station is right there, just because I was unsafe in the parking lot with somebody yelling at me from the parking lot in the dark about, they didn't like people gathering for medical cannabis, and it was fun. They had to have a guy stood across the road, just we're talking while I was smoking. Nobody else was out there. It was his job to watch me, his duty. And see, he wasn't getting high, but I'm the one getting high, thinking, okay, I'm just hanging out this Burke Township cop on the other side of the road because he's protecting me while I do this, and my perception's changing, and I'm seeing irony swirling around me after 45 years of not being able to do it like that. And I couldn't share it with him because I don't think he was on my level with what he would find, amazing.
I think
there were a hostile crowd there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't get out enough to know, but pretty much patients outside a bar. Well, if there's a sidewalk area, there's a place where they are allowed to smoke. Pretty much wherever cigarettes are. I don't think anybody,
I've said this before. I went as soon as those that became clear with the recreational process. I was very brazen about that once legalization happened.
Here we go. In Florida, the only way to legally grow cannabis is to own a medical cannabis treatment center. There are only 27. However, under a new legislative proposal, state residents who qualify as medical cannabis patients would be able to cultivate up to two cannabis plants at their residence for personal consumption.
That's 2 different strains. I could deal with it.
2.
So let me. I've actually had this question for Ben. I want to ask Jim this because I don't know enough about this. That's a like that. That's 2 plants right there. When they're crafting these bills, do they work into account
of course not.
A patient's use versus how much they're able to grow or proposing to be able to grow? Jim, you're muted.
No. Chris Cano says 2 plants for multiple patients. The math is not mathing.
What they factor into it is what they think they can get past. That's what they do. That's all it's based on. And if they're saying, okay, let's see somebody try to get in the way of this, it's obviously we got screwed in the beginning, which was worse than getting it cut down. But yeah, there's some sort of logic in getting what you can now and then trying to make it better. But if it was 2 plants and you do it like indoors, right, what you can do is this. You can grow them like without trimming them. Just let them start to grow enough to get bent.
Well, we're getting bent all right.
In a good way. I mean, when they start getting up there, and then you can if you bet as they grow and you adjust the lights, you can bend it over to be about like 6 feet long, and it doesn't have to be touching the ground. Just bent to where it's a good going horizontal.
Sure, you could do that.
So what happens is then when you trim it, instead of 2 branches this way and 2 branches, instead of all that, they all start going straight up. So you could have 2 plants side by side and about like say 5 feet by 12 feet.
Yeah.
And it would look like a freaking garden. You'd get a canopy out of that.
I've seen those. They're beautiful.
You can do it, and it's 2 plants.
You got to be a hell of a grower, though. Make sure that plant is perfect. Here, listen to this. Elected officials need to address the chronic debilitating conditions of medical cannabis patients in a serious manner. Clearly, the good senator is no expert on the needs of a truly sick patient or the amount of cannabis one needs to consume when suffering.
Yeah. Applying logic to it. That's straight down the middle, perfectly true. Right down the middle.
Can't argue with that. And
no, you could build that on a foundation for to branch out metaphorically speaking.
Bucket
Man, you're muted, or I don't know what's going on. I can't hear you.
Cool, got it. The other conundrum there is that you have something that's been fear-mongered and hidden for years, where data can't be gathered on it, and then at a time where we need people to know, hey, this is the amount of cannabis someone needs when they're sick. Well, there's not enough years to set precedent for that, and that has definitely had a consequence. But
Lefty, before I forget, are you gonna CMMJ meeting is it's second Tuesday today?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get on. I'll be at a council meeting myself.
Okay, well, I just put it out there so you know.
Yeah, I'm leaving here at 6 today. Hard stop at 6, and I'm going up to Dover, and I'm going to play a song.
Oh.
I have to honk off about now, unfortunately. But always a pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure to talk. Convo today. I'll see you guys Thursday. Other than that, everyone, please, Instagram, YouTube. Please, I've been posting some new shorts. I know Lefty's been enjoying a couple of them recently. And yeah, Mad Hatter opening on the 22nd. Please
coming up
be
fast.
There for the grand opening. I know I will.
All right.
There is a hard opening. Get it? Hard opening on the 22nd. And a soft opening on the 17th, on Monday. They will have products on the shelves on Monday and making sales. But the big hard opening is Saturday.
Hard Saturday. Catch you later, guys.
Hard Saturday. So you know what they're going to be selling there, as well as cannabis. So you know.
Yeah.
It's an adult store. It's for adults only.
Wow. There was no entendres.
They're going to be selling ass?
Yes.
No double entendres, no triple.
Yeah, I've seen. They have buttholes and boobs. And all the body parts, and like rubbery, all different colors, shapes, sizes, girths, whatever you need. They're gonna have it all. Butt bongs, all that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting into here. I just like having free space to do a podcast. And they want me to talk about it. I'll talk about it. I like it. I like being there. It's fun. I'm having fun.
You sell out. I mean, you're a sellout.
I haven't been around the sex toys yet.
I look. It's opposite. You're like a buy-in. It's it's the opposite of it. Actually, I think it could work out to be a pretty symbiotic relationship. You got to see how things work out, but I see the possibilities.
Oh yeah, I'm going to change the whole podcast set. We were going to do a 3D printing, which we probably will, but I'm going to do a building of the Mad Hatter, just like these here. I'm going to make one out of foam board and have a Mad Hatter building to hide the mixing board. And then the entire parking lot, which is the rest of the whole table, will be for vendors to come in and show off their products, because we don't really have a space for that with all the set here. So we're going to have a different set with the huge parking lot that they have at the Mad Hatter dispensary in that huge property. So it's going to be a different set, and it's going to be pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So Dover, what's up in Dover? I'm getting Dover and Edison mixed up. They're both it's like watching two shows at the same time on different nights.
Yeah, two horrible mayors. They can be interchanged.
Dover, what's the big issue? Which is it?
Well, right now it's wheelchair accessibility. What they did to disabled people on January 1st. That kind of sticks in my craw. They forced these.
You got to take care of your craw.
They
That's your crotch.
They had a party for January 1st, and disabled people were locked out, and they had to fix the elevator, which was not adequate.
Oh, I remember that.
And we're in a fire hazard in the basement. It was just a shit show.
Oh no, that's have you ever actually written that down in a succinct form? For instance, like I did the petition. Well worded, but it's something that it's really interesting, and the way it worked out from your point of view, there's too much for me to remember. I mean, having the one elevator, it worked, and
they had to fix it. There was no planning for disabled people at all.
Yeah, but that's so. What is it? That rectifies that to a degree.
They need a new lift, proper lift, a new lift, because that thing is shit. You need someone to operate it for you, which is unsafe because you're a fire hazard. If the operator is incapacitated, you're locked in there. You can't get out.
Yeah. When you say lift, you mean lift like elevator, right?
Yeah, elevator lift, but it's locked. You're locked in, and you can't get out of the door until someone opens the door for you. It's so weird and scary.
Yeah. Wow. What is that? Like some pretty old technology or something?
Oh.
What was that elevator made?
I can't hear you.
Is it like a dumbwaiter?
Worse.
So it's like a dumbwaiter for a person.
Dumbwaiter for people.
I don't like it.
No.
I'm not getting it.
Dumbwaiter for dumb people.
Yep. And the person that operates it can't operate it on the top or the bottom. They have to go from the top, turn it on, and then run to the bottom.
So what is the function of down? Obviously, they don't use the downstairs very much, or that would
No. So they don't plan for disabled people being at these meetings. However, there was 3. That's the day that there was 3 disabled people there in wheelchairs that could not access the basement. And the mayor just didn't care. He slammed the door in our face when we brought it up to him. Yeah. We went to his office and said, "Hey, Mr. Mayor, why can't we get downstairs to your party? Why didn't you put disabled vets in your thoughts?" And he slammed the door in our face. Oh, okay. Nice guy. He's a real piece of work, this guy, this Dodd.
Maybe he was having a bad day.
He's having a bad life.
I mean, it does happen.
This guy's having a bad life, really. He's just he's a tyrant.
No sympathy? None?
Well, it's very telling where your brain is at.
Yeah, if he's not willing to engage, I feel less sorry for somebody. But I hear what you're saying, Bear. I mean, if there's an underlying cause, there's been a couple times, but I didn't be in particular in my life when I was on the other end of that moment for me, where if I'd only known or thought about it. So you do have to examine that. On the other hand, you have a feel for it, literally, that we wouldn't have for not being there, So just watching out for you, bro.
I'm playing a song tonight.
Which song?
It's my version of Whitey on the Moon.
What?
Ever hear that song, Whitey on the Moon?
No.
Gil Scott Heron.
Oh, Gil Scott Heron.
Heron. He has a song with a bongo, and it's
And you got a bongo?
I have a snare drum, and I'm hoping bongo. Bongo.
I got a snare drum.
It's not a banjo though.
I got a
banjo. So they're gonna get this banjo tonight. Be satisfied. Y'all gonna get this banjo tonight and hear this song.
You're getting it one way or another. You're gonna get it.
You're gonna get this banjo and this song tonight. Now let me get my minutes. Here we go. With my minutes.
A 1 and a 2.
Oh man. That's a banjo.
Oh, we lost Jim. He fell off his chair.
He needs help. He can't get up.
Jim, you okay?
He's falling and he can't get up.
Jim, are you at the age where you fell and you can't get up?
There you go.
Oh yeah. Yes. Perfect.
Yeah, this is skin too. Where is it? Yeah.
Oh, it's the real. I had a pair of those in my other apartment.
Yeah, I just thought about it. They don't get much use, but you never know at one of our little band practices. If hey, we got any bongos? I've been waiting 6 years for somebody to say that.
There's always a time and a place for everything.
Yeah, you never know. Dover tonight.
Whoa. Can you hear that?
No.
You could. A moment ago, I could. I
heard.
Hear this?
Ooh. I don't hear anything, but
so that's going to be the theme tonight.
So you're really gonna go in there and say that?
I'm going there. No, it's going to be Dodd is a fraud.
What?
Instead of Whitey on the Moon, it's Dodd is a fraud.
So who? Well, Chris will be there, right? Is he going to be able to take a video of this for our viewing pleasure later?
I'll be live. I'll probably be. Yeah, I got to record it.
What's his name?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so don't do that. Say Dodd is on the moon.
Dodd is on the moon.
Yeah, but Dodd is on the moon.
I'm to Dodd is a fraud.
Dodd is a fraud.
Your attorney is incompetent. Dodd is a fraud. He doesn't understand the First Amendment. Dodd is a fraud. He's an empty suit with an empty mind. Dodd is a fraud. He lives in Mayor Dodd's behind. Dodd is a fraud. Sergio is a psychopath. Dodd is a fraud. He spends all day microblading. I gotta get this line out. It's too fucking good. He spends all day microblading in the bath. Dodd is a fraud. He looks clean, but he really stinks. Dodd is a fraud. With a dirty mind and a tiny dink. Dodd is a fraud.
Okay, now you're gonna do this. Who's gonna be there that you know?
Chris Brisk. Here we go. Chris Almada. There he is.
Okay, hey.
He's gonna be there.
No, it's hard not to take part when you get started. And in my mind, I would hope there be some other people there taking part with you. I mean, you could get audience participation. I mean, depending on the audience. Is that possible?
Can you hear that? No?
Yeah, well, I don't care. The bongos, it's like a good, hook. Except for nobody's going to be listening to the bongos. They're going to be trying not to help you. What's the problem?
Dodd believes in higher taxes. Dodd is a fraud. He doesn't believe in wheelchair access. Dodd is a fraud. Dodd's like a commie. He hates our vets. Dodd is a fraud. He turned the council chambers into a mess. Dodd is a fraud. Little Dick Dodd is the king of Dover. Dodd is a fraud. He makes the citizens bend over. Dodd is a fraud. He gives us Little Dick energy. Dodd is a fraud. Little Dick Dodd sits down to pee. Dodd is a fraud. He has tiny dick energy just like a runt. Dodd is a fraud. He called the mayor the African American woman. I won't say that word. I won't say it.
Dodd is a fraud.
But Dodd is a fraud. And then the last line is, he's possessed by the dark, dank, dreadful, disgusting, dreaded. Oh, geez, I have to finish it. Dark, dank, dreadful, disgusting, dreaded demon of.
Oh.
Demon of.
Dick?
Demon of dick.
Dodd is a fraud.
Possessed by the dark, dank, dreadful, disgusting, dreaded demon of dick.
Dodd is a fraud.
Dodd is a fraud. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Dodd is a fraud. My minutes are up. I had more, but my minutes are up.
My minutes are up.
You said I had more, but my minutes
are up. I yield my 2 seconds left.
Nah. Hey. Oh my God.
I can't hear you.
Well, for shock value, you know me. I like shock value and funny because funny offers more shock value
funny
than
is the best.
awe.
They can't handle it.
Let's be real. Go there with a stack of those and make it seem like you had a whole bunch. And at the end, you should be like, look, I had more, but my time ran out. I mean, you didn't, but make them think you did.
Yeah.
Just come there with a whole stack of papers.
Yeah.
Crumpled up just looking through all crazy.
I had more lyrics.
So they can see just how many papers are actually there.
There's more.
There's more. But
I'll see you next week.
I ain't got no minutes.
I'm sorry, I wasted time laughing in the middle, but I couldn't help it myself.
But he's like, no, hold up. I got a quick question, counsel. Am I able to pass this off for somebody else to finish it?
Yeah.
Yes.
They'd be like, no.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
That was your time. That's
like rugby. You hand it off, somebody else run with it.
It's like, you know what? I'm going to hand it off and let someone else go. Pick a sheet, any sheet.
Well, you actually, it'd be funny at a committee hearing if two people, sometimes together, you could you handle the same subject for twice as long like that. But I just think, how many people might be there, Lefty, on a typical Dover council night?
It depends. Last time it was packed because they were expecting us to come with our shit show, and we didn't go. We just
that was that. Okay,
yeah,
see, the two are blending in for me at times.
Well,
that was a smart move not going then too, because I think you were like, you weren't going to have a whole lot of company there yourself.
No, it was. We didn't have.
It was a situation. It was like you were understaffed.
It may be just me and Chris tonight. I don't know. Maybe Bung Holy was going. I haven't talked to him yet. We'll see. I actually have to stop the podcast because I got to get ready to go, and we're going to finish this blunt, and then I'm out of here. It's going to take me an hour to get to Dover from here now during rush hour. Yeah.
You don't want to be late.
No, I'll be there by 7.
Okay, it's comments afterwards, right?
Comments are kind of at the kind of towards the middle, but there's resolutions and stuff you can comment on.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What time does it start? 6?
7.
7. Can't start at 6. Okay. Yeah. So that's your leave. Well, you got to go straight to it, man. Get out of here.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday for the podcast.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, I got to get ready for the 7 o'clock. All right.
All right. Catch you later.
Take it easy, Bear.
Yeah.
All right.